Shouts out BigSteve.
What's up? Welcome to another episode of The Big Brain, episode 125, UFC Vegas 90, Allen versus Curtis, the rematch. We're going to try and make money this weekend's MMA like usual. Last week, we did make money, and the week before, I didn't have a podcast. That's my bad. There's a lot of things been going on for a while now, but I always squeeze it in. But unfortunately, last week I couldn't do it. Moving houses for a while, and last week of the month, and I really tried to make profit, which I did, but I was just short. So 1,300 loss for the March, which is annoying. You know, one step forward, two steps back. All month. I had the week before I had errands. I had Rosa as a dog, and I still somehow lost. I think I lost. I live bet that guy the bit Igor. And then I lost, on the over in the what do you call it? In the Shabazian fight. I had a stupid play on Gibson after I was up heaps, on errands and the Usman go the distance. And then, to top it off, to finally put me in loss, I played Talbot and over 1.5 rounds instead of just playing Talbot because, I wanted a better line. So agreed, we'll do it to you. And then last week, I had not many bets. I had under 1.5 in the Bruno Weidman fight all week. A plus 145, $2.45, only because, I don't usually like unders like that where only one man can finish. I thought if Weidman was winning, it would go over just because his wrestling sucks these days and he's can't really finish anyone. But I just thought it was going to be better than the Bruno KO. So when the KO opened up, Pick'em was the best and it was even worse on other books. So that was pretty much it. Wasn't overly confident with it, but I added heaps of stuff. I added Manon to win $1,500, which won. I added Buckley live to win $800. I lied bet too much on Erin 900 after round 3. I thought she would come back. And I threw away $750 on stupid Algier, even though I told everyone it was a bad bet. So I made $600 there, in the end. But I made $2,000 something on Cage Warriors. But ultimately I lost $1,000 on LFA. So yeah, just $1,000 short to get profit, which super, super easy to do. I mean, I can't blame anyone but myself, I pride myself on being extremely disciplined. I know a lot of people got destroyed in March. But yeah, as I said, I don't compare myself to others. I'm my own harshest critic. I have this thing where I want to profit every single month. And, now that that's over, I feel better because I can move on and start fresh. It's good to accept that you're not a robot and you can't not make mistakes. A lot of us do. But yeah, after the 1,300 loss on 10,600 for the year, whatever that is, like 6 units or less, 5 units. Yeah. I said if I profited for March, I would up my units to 2,000. That hasn't happened, but I'm going to up my units to 2,000 anyway. So we'll see how we go. I wanted to stake a lot more, about 2-3 units here or there, but the way that this year is going, I just don't see spots where I'm comfortable laying 2-3 units on anything with my style. So I'll rather just up my units to 2,000 and make more money that way. Alrighty, let's get into it. It's been 4 minutes. Let's go through the comments. What's up, Dixon? What's up, Dad? Tristan, bro, are you a fan of Chepe even if you don't pick him to win? Yeah, I'm a fan, I guess. Steve, I told you Algio and Turklage were the only fans. Yeah, you told everyone, man. You love your only fans. Let's go, my man. Hello, ABMD. I want to give special shout out on this amazing platform and podcast with the GOAT BJ Penn. Right, yeah, it's BJ's burner account again. Hell yeah, shout out to GOAT. Glimbot. Grobard, the man. Alrighty, let's do it. Full discretion, I haven't taped some of these fights, but I mean, it didn't really make a difference last week. Melissa Mullins, Nora Cornell. It's not even a dog or pass. It's, I can't play Cornell. She's a boxer and she barely got past Edwards. So it's Mullins. I played Mullins KO over the Russian last time. A lot of people playing the under. I didn't like the under both ways. So I looked, into how to get more value, and I stuck with the Mullins KO was probably the best way he could finish. I feel the same way in this fight. She likes going for the back, but that's what costed the finish against Alexieva. So I personally think Mullins KO again, or maybe Mullins inside the distance just in case or pass. Alrighty, Dylan Budka, Cesar Almeida. Interesting. This is a back and forth fight for the public. Dylan Budka, a slight favorite. He was a bigger favorite before, and Cesar Almeida, plus 140. I bet this guy is a massive dog. First episode of Contender Series. I love that bet. I thought I would like him here too. I kind of do, but I'm not as chuffed as I thought I would be. Ultimately, he's a high-level striker. He fought Lucas Fernando, who I was telling everyone, in the Discord, this guy's a flake. I know he looks good on LFA, but you can tell that he's a flake when the fight gets extended. And yeah, he kept flopping to his back, whenever he couldn't get a takedown. He still took down Cesar Almeida way too many times. Cesar Almeida was way too sloppy. As I mentioned before, I think it was Gastelum versus Brady. I like guys that focus a lot on the takedown defense and not scrambling, right? So, for example, the way Bilal really focused on not getting taken down by Brady compared to Gastelum, who was happy to get taken down so he can scramble up, but he couldn't scramble up against someone like Brady. That's the issue, right? So Cesar Almeida got taken down way too many times, and he could just work his way back. But Budka, Budka's going to keep going for takedowns. He's not as flaky, and he's not going to be pulling guard against this dude. So, yeah. I mean, it's either accurate or I'm probably going to take a shot on Almeida. Because, he's already got a world-class skill set with him, the striking. And he just has to focus on not getting taken down by Budka. Budka, everyone loves betting on this guy, but, he's a slim margins guy. He's more of he's a crotch sniffer, and he's more of a dog kind of person. So it's a dog or pass for me. I'll just see. You can still get good lines on Almeida. I'd probably have to double tape this one, because after taping his Contender Series, I was like, I don't know. Step up. Alrighty. Gene Matsumoto versus Dan Aguirre. Gene making his debut, big favorite. And a little bit of money came in on Dan Aguirre. And I get it, because Gene is quite good. He's only 24, but Dan is a beast, and he's just going to keep going for takedowns. He's a wild man. He's a bit more physical than Gene, and Gene can be taken down. That's what it comes down to. Gene also comes into the fights a bit later. 2-3, he starts to flow with his combinations. He can switch stances. He likes the guillotine. The only issue I can't take a poke on Dan, who's definitely going to be getting takedowns here at least early, it's because his control is pretty bad. He gets reversed and he gets backpacked himself. Obviously Damon Jackson backpacked him for 3 rounds, and even Nick Aguirre backpacked him after getting taken down. So he loves to wrestle, but he gets into these scrambling fights. It's one of the main reasons I faded him against Miles Johns. Miles Johns could just get out of the back control, reverse him and then stay on top of him. And he loves going for the guillotine as well. He's just sloppy, And I think as the fight goes on, Gene's going to stuff a bit more takedowns and, start landing more eye-catching shots. But yeah, I can't play the Gene Price, making his debut, being so young and having slim margins in some of his LFA fights. So it's a dog or pass, but most likely I will look to live bet Gene. Hopefully he gets taken down a bit, gets grounded, and jump on live and see what we can do. Alrighty, I'm just looking at the props on Bet365. I haven't really looked at it much, to be honest. Gene also likes the guillotine. Can you get Dan Aguirre? I'm not sure about that. Yeah, the overs are juiced, heavily juiced. Gene also likes to go for takedowns, so maybe you can take Dan down, because Dan is quite sloppy. All right, let's move on. Cynthia Cabilla versus Piero Rodriguez. One of my friends said he's played Cynthia, and I reluctantly taped it because I know both these girls well, and I knew it would be a horrible, horrible fight to tape. And I did it, and plus 130 on Cynthia. I was like, I can't do it. I just can't bet on these washed girls, even though it's probably a step down for Cynthia, from Lupita and Nina Nunes and even Andrea Lee. But, she was incredibly durable, and then she started getting finished by Andrade and couldn't stool against Andrea. Like, she's quite washed, Pierre Rodriguez, I lost money three times trying to fade this chick. So I tried to fade her against Machado. Machado was a massive underdog on LFA. I'm surprised that wasn't a split. So she did me dirty there. Fed her against Kay Hansen. Kay wins round 1 clear with multiple takedowns. Then she starts taking Kay down. Wins 29-28. Did me dirty there. Then I bet Sam Hughes, and every time I watch that fight back, she keeps taking Sam Hughes down like 8 times in the 3 rounds, but it's so competitive. And Sam wins round 3, obviously standard Sam Hughes performance. But I thought she had a shout to win round 1 and 2 because she was outstriking her. But I get done dirty there again. And then for some reason, I don't bet Gillian Robertson at Pick'em. I thought about betting that fight right before the fight started, and then she mauls her. So, I mean, yeah, can Cynthia win this? Probably. And, she can go for takedowns. Piera has a decent get-ups. She didn't look like it against Gillian Robertson, but she hit some butterflies against Kay Hansen and stood up multiple times. Cynthia, yeah, the Cynthia that's getting takedowns recently, she just doesn't hold her girls down. She took Nina down, she took Lupita down, and Lupita also hit some butterflies and retained guard and stood up. So I don't know, man. She has no power. It's a shit show fight. Now that it's Pick'em, I definitely have no interest. So let's move on. Pedro Falcao, Victor Hugo. I haven't taped this fight. I know Hugo from the original Contender Series 2021, but I haven't watched this fight, and I haven't watched these fights after that. I have to refresh my memory. But Hugo's a meme merchant. 24 wins, hasn't really beat anyone good. So yeah, it might be a sneaky play there. He literally doesn't have a good win. Alrighty, let's look at the comments. I played Dixon 2-3. That's a good one. Yeah, Glimbot, as I said, no distance. Either that or Dixon KO again, because she does most of the work ground and pound. Almeida underdog doesn't make much sense after seeing his last fight. Yeah, I mean, he got taken down a lot of times. That's why. Fernando is such a flake. Can't believe he pulled guy. Yeah, he is a flake. Budka beat Schultz, so BJ is nothing new for him. If Almeida has good enough takedown, made a decision, could be. Aguero, the male version of Blanchfield. Nah, Aguero can actually get takedowns, man. He's physical. Early downline was generous. Matsumoto get a sub. Cynthia decision. Yeah, it's such a disgusting price. Had to tie Cynthia at plus 168. Yeah, that's a good price, but yeah, I caught plus 130 and I just couldn't do it. Big Bird UFC, Hugo minus 130, solid. Interesting. Without any tape, I don't know how much value is on that line, but we'll see. Norma Dumont versus Jaman Durandamine, easy dog or pass. Right. I mean, Durandamine at Norma Dumont at this price is a no-go. Only issue is, Durandamine 3 years off. I bet her in a lot of these fights. I bet her against Aspen Ladd. I bet her against Juliana Pena, which I was sweating. I was sweating quite a bit until that guillotine, but that was a great result. I didn't bet her against Nunes. Overall, she's the better girl. And also, Norma just slows down quite bad late, and her round 1 is quite good. She was dropped with a straight right by Carl Rosa, so you never know, the same thing could happen here, but I just have to come to the conclusion, will I play the dog after 3 years away, or will I just, choose to pass completely? The lines come in so much now. It's all these lines, they've moved. But yeah, let's move on. Cole McGee, Alex Morono. This is a massive line. This is a big trap. LP, trying to get me distracted. What are your thoughts on Andrew Tate? Cool guy, I guess. Cool guy. FIFA Gaming. Hello, Steve. Hello, FIFA Gaming. Yeah, cool. JD, I could get a finish. Why not? That depends on what she looks like. That's the issue. So court is $3.50 still. This is the first fight I taped. One of the boys said it was one of his favorite bets, so he shared it. So I was like, let's look into it. And yeah, I get it. I mean, don't really have to tape. I get it. It's just Alex Morono usually has issues with physicality, and guys that can knock him out and kind of maul him. But if he gets anyone mid or washed, like Mickey Gall, Semmelsberger's not even that washed. Tim Means is washed. He runs through him. Zawada, etc., etc. Knocks out or washed. Cowboy, he's decent, right? But obviously, Yaquin Buckley is a tough task. That should have been a 2-unit bet. Santiago Ponzinibbio, he took that off the couch and he was, 2-0 up. He was just dropping him in multiple rounds and he got knocked out. He looked a bit chubby there, but it's just Court McKee can't knock anyone out. That's the issue. So Court has to, I don't know, wrestle for 3 rounds, and he's going to be a massive speed advantage, especially early when Morono's fresh. This is not on short notice, so this is full camp Morono. This is a step down from Jacqueline Buckley for sure. Might even be a step down from Tim Means. Tim Means is still dangerous and can practically wrestle. I don't think Court McGee can beat the people Tim Means has beat. I don't think Court McGee will beat Fialio. His chin's gone a bit, deaded twice by one punch, Matt Brown and Wells, which fair enough, those guys hit very hard. But yeah, and all his wins, where he's wrestling guard pullers, Ramirez Brahimaj, Claudio Silva. Yeah, these dudes literally actively pull guard. So, but he's got fights against Diego Lima, couldn't beat him. Couldn't beat Wash Carlos Condit. So it's hard. It's hard for me to donate. I get it. Andrew, yeah, he was losing, but again, it's Tim Means, man. He's got sharp hands and he actively wrestled, and he's got power. None of the stuff that Cole McGee has. Morono dies in round 3 every fight. I've got Court round 3, my ad money line. Man, I've had Court McGee round 3 before, and he couldn't finish Brahimaj. It's tough. It's tough. Yeah. Yes, my dad is in the chat, AV. Trying to support me so he can move out of his basement. Yeah, I'll, 2 more weeks I should move out. Yeah, I think ultimately I'm gonna be disciplined and just live bait Court, because if Court's gonna get finished, it will be early. But if anything, I don't mind this over 2.5 rounds. That's the way I'll tackle this fight, right? Because if Court's winning, it's going over, right? And if it's going over, if he's winning, he's also not finishing Morono. So the over 2.5 might be the way to play if you like. All Court McGee has to do is survive round 1. So basically fading the KO from Morono early. All right. Trevor Peak, Charlie Campbell. Unfortunately, didn't get time to tape this fight. I know the people want me to talk about the best fight, but it is what it is. I've been on Peak a lot. I bet him against Eric Gonzalez, round 1, round 2, almost plus money. I bet him against Malik Lewis, big underdog money. I lost money against him against Chepe. I just thought he would knock Chepe out. And then I bet him as an underdog against Yaya, which almost closed at minus 200. So, yeah, I know this boy well. And I know Campbell well. I didn't really bet him much, but I passed on that fight where he got killed by Duncan. I think it was a decent fave. And yeah, I played the under 1.5 rounds in his debut, which he did. He's a technical guy, and there's something about his striking that just leaves it makes you not want to play him at minus money just because he's so open. But offensively, he's a beast. So I know some people playing the juice on him, because he's the more technical fighter, but who isn't compared to Peak, right? And I know others, taking the Peak shot. So I don't want to bang on too much. The under 1.5 is minus 200. I know from memory, I haven't taken any under 1.5s in Peak fights, right? I capped him quite well, and he went to a decision in his last, and he almost made it to round 2 in his debut. So, and he went over in the Contender Series. So he's not like a one-punch guy. He is, but he's not, right? So, and okay, the over took a lot of steam there. So I think people are seeing the same thing. Yeah, maybe play some KO, Peak KO, or Charlie Campbell KO. Maybe he's the first guy to kill him. But yeah, didn't tape, so I don't want to give you guys the non-taping thoughts, but that's about it. Lucas Bresky, Walter Walker, awful fight. First fight I taped because I like to look into new UFC guys that I've never heard of before right off the bat. And yeah, I get it. The line's a bit crazy on him, but he is getting one of the worst dudes in the UFC. Josh Parisian, probably the worst. And he's probably going to beat Lucas. He's 6'6". Lucas is like a stick and move kind of guy, and he's got that going for him because he's faster than a lot of these dudes. But he gasses out, and he can be taken down. He's flimsy, he's chinny, and he doesn't have any power. So if you're going to bet him, you always got to bet him by decision, like a point style decision. And yeah, the only thing I liked here is the over 1.5 rounds. All right, I kind of would have liked plus money. I thought maybe people would have thought, is Walker's going to finish this dude. That doesn't seem to be the case. Minus money now. It's kind of minus money on a heavyweight fight where one guy's a 6'6" dude that can probably knock out this chinny guy. And yeah, but Walter does like to wrestle, so that's the thing, and he's got a lot of these decisions against bums. So that's the way I'm leaning it. I haven't come around to it. Maybe I just pass because I would hate myself if I bet it and Walker takes him down and just ground and pounds him. But Bretsky has get-ups, which is why I like it. But then again, he was almost KO'd on the feet by Carl Williams, of all people. He's doing the stanky leg. But yeah, the over 1.5 is the only thing I like. All right. Ignacio Bahamondes versus Christos Giagos. This is clearly a dog or pass. Giagos is not that bad. Ignacio has issues with his chin. He's been hurt twice in the UFC out of like 3 or 4 fights. Some of the bombs that Daniel Zellhuber took, I don't know if Ignacio could take. Ignacio doesn't really wrestle like Zellhuber either, or have the power. So yeah, easy dog or pass, man. I could see another Ricky Glenn situation. Instead of that, maybe I just play the under, and kind of covers me both ways. But it's a fight that I have to tape, honestly. So I'm not going to talk too much about it. But that's what I'm leaning right now. Alrighty. I hate to disappoint you guys, but this seems to be a very popular fight. Morgan Sherrier, Chepi Mariscal, and I haven't done a lick of tape. I know both of these guys, I've been betting and fading Sherrier in Cage Warriors, and Chepe, as you know, I lost money on him. I lost money on him 3 times. All right, I forced a bet against Fario and LFA, lost. Obviously, bet Peak, lost. And I think I definitely forced Jack Jenkins because Jenkins was a big favorite. I didn't like it. And where were we? We were, end of the September last year. And I think that was my other losing month, so I definitely forced that too. So yeah, I'm 0 for 3 trying to force against Chepe. I haven't taped, but I just know, Cherry's going to be more technical. Chepe is going to be more of a dog. He kind of has some striking issues. But from memory, from traditional thought, usually when the odds are around this range, I tend to pass, unless the bookies have made a mistake. But these odds are still staying strong here, so I tend to believe that the public thinks that the odds are accurate here. So I'm probably going to pass, but who knows? I will definitely take the fight, and yeah, I'll post it on Twitter for free if you're not in my Discord. If I have a bet, if not, you won't hear from me. Let's go through the comments. The dog father, he's changed his name. Walker isn't that bad. Massive skill gap. Pig KO or bust. I mean, Pig is always KO or bust, more or less, unless he's fighting an absolute bum. Bresky 300. Walter is bad. Yeah, I don't know, man. Don't know. He's not as bad. People are he looks bad on his tape, but he's winning fights. Giagos is the GOAT if his fight's 1.3 seconds, correct, mate? I bet Ignacio, Anaconda, and Das. Right, what about the guillotine, mate? he has one submission in UFC and it's a guillotine, but you didn't bet that. Last pirate time, yeah, I'll look into it. Hopefully I agree with you guys. Dixon, Steve, I don't know why you're choosing to ignore the fact that Chepe and Campbell are the only fans fades, because, mate, you're kind of drilling it into the ground with that OnlyFans thing. Jenkins' win was a meme. It was, but it was a bad bet. Just so you guys know, whenever a meme happens, it's because I chose to force a bet that I didn't like. and the MMA gods punish me and everyone else on it. All right, let's move on. Alexander Hernandez and Damon Jackson. Alrighty, so this fight, I don't have a play on it. Right, I was taped a few Damon Jackson fights, last week when I was taping Billy Quarantillo for Zalal. Massive FOMO missing out on that. I'd like to forget it. And I used to think, Jackson has good cardio, and obviously now I have a lot of footage, right, that he doesn't. Right, the Dan Ige fight, he looked horrible, and flimsy. The Dan Aguirre fight, cardio died round 3, and Billy Quarantillo, cardio died round 3. So I just think it leaves a very bad chance for him to beat Alexander Hernandez. I don't know what Hernandez is doing at featherweight. If he was at lightweight, for example, he would do much better. I mean, his last win's at lightweight on short notice. He looked amazing against Jim Miller. Jim Miller is far from washed, and Alexander Hernandez was in a war with him, and he busted him up, and he had his back taken. He didn't gas. That's where the good fighter is at. But instead, he's just fighting at featherweight, and he doesn't look like he has any power at featherweight. Like if this was a lightweight version, the Bill Algeo fight probably would have been competitive, but he got dropped by Algeo. He didn't seem to have any power, but it's still hard to see him beat Jackson. But he's gonna have issues against Jackson early, right? Round 1 is gonna be a good round for Jackson, but after that, I don't know. Jackson's chinny as well, so I completely agree with Hernandez being a favorite, but it's one of those fights, man. It's one of those fights. I don't even know how to play it, honestly. Maybe live bet. What are the overs? The over 1.5. The under is $1.60. I don't know. Billy Q's a bum, by the way, so I don't take anything from the fact that he couldn't finish a gassed Damon Jackson. Maybe the under 1.5. Maybe you go back to the well. Alexander Hernandez round 1. This could be the round where he finishes, but it's so bad. $4. Jesus, that's bad. Yeah, maybe just wait for live and hope that Damon Jackson has a good round 1 like he usually does when he's fresh, and then look to jump on the Hernandez train live. I don't know. It's a horrible fight. And Brandon Allen versus Chris Curtis. We had the main event. I taped this one nice and deep, and I know a lot of the boys are on Chris Curtis. It makes sense. He beat him the first time. It looked like Allen had nothing for him. He was kind of competitive before the KO on the feet as well. I don't know. I just left. I left not really having a strong take, wanting to bet it. I personally think that Allen's a bit better and Chris Curtis is a bit worse, right? That's a blanket take, but it's not really. I know that some of the opposition Allen's fought, it wasn't the best. Obviously Paul Craig, and Bruno Silva, a little bit chinny, a little bit reckless. But Andrew Muniz, he fought patient. He outstruck him before taking him down and submitting him. A patient Brandon Allen could look favourite here, even in 5 rounds. Right, he's got a more variety of strikes. He's got the kicks. He's got clinch knees. He can mix in takedowns whenever he wants. He still has issues with his defense, and that's the thing. But it's just what I saw from Chris Curtis. Just getting shut down by Kevin Gastelum. Not a great fighter anymore. Getting completely shut down by Imavov. I was on him there against Imavov because I was expecting the old Curtis, that I saw against Buckley and whatever. Completely shut down. He hasn't been taken down once in the UFC, even though I thought Brandon Allen took him down in the first fight and took his back, but they didn't count that. Imavov took him down 3 times in that fight, took his back pretty much every time, easily. One of the times he just kind of ducked under his punches and took his back on the feet. And you don't want to get your back taken against Brandon Allen. He just seems slow to react. And the Marc-Andre Barrios fight, I passed there. I just thought the line was accurate. I couldn't play his minus money when in Canada when I saw the Barrios was actually good on the back foot against Eric Anders. And yeah, he was frustrated halfway through round 1 against Marc-Andre Barrios. All right, so this guy, he can't adapt. He's 36 now. That fight was 2 years ago when he was a little bit more in his prime. I still like what I see on his tape. And sure, some people say that he's got 5 rounds to knock out Brandon Allen. But I just feel like maybe this is the one time that Allen can actually finish Curtis. He can be the first guy to finish Curtis. Maybe not by KO because he's still incredibly durable. Although he is getting hurt. He's getting hurt by Gastelum, he's getting hurt by Hermansson. It's possible. Allen does crack. But I just feel like maybe he'll give up his back and get submitted because he just seems so slow to react. Maybe he's a bit, washed. I don't know. And look, I'm not completely against it because he's still a decent dog, but I see the public. I woke up this morning and more money is coming on Brandon Allen. He's worse than -200 now, so maybe the public's seeing the same thing as me. Yeah, I'd rather just play the KO or something, but I don't know. I'm not completely against it because when I taped Fiora, I passed because she was a bit too wild and she was always losing round 3. But then when the event started, I actually ended up playing her for a lot. I played her for $1,000, so maybe I do the same with Curtis. Just I can't ignore the value. But yeah, I just don't like what I see from Curtis these days. Maybe after round 1, a patient round 1 from Brandon Allen, the live bet skyrockets. Just, leave it at that. But yeah, at the moment, nothing for me. But it is a clear dog or pass. I'm not advocating anyone play, Brendan Allen at this price. And I just looked at his submission. It's disgusting. $2.30, absolutely disgusting. The overs, people like the overs. I'm not really a fan of the overs, right? I just stated that I think this could be the fight where Brendan Allen finally finishes. Chris Curtis, I think Imavov might have done it. Yeah, maybe the under, but as soon as you go to 3.5 rounds, the under goes to shit. I don't know. We'll see. It's Friday. I got 2 more days. No, yeah, Friday. 2 more full days to marinate my bets. As of now, I have no bets whatsoever. So, what can you do? It is what it is. Let me just go through the card. See if I can give you boys anything. What do we got? Brandon Allen's going to get his revenge. Yeah, I'll lean that way. Alex versus Damon over 1.5 is my favorite bet on the card. Yeah, I don't know. But at minus money, it's just scary considering how chinny Damon is. Glimbot, why are Allen's sub late prop numbers so bad numbers wise? Well, they're not actually. The late sub numbers are not bad. I just meant sub in general. Let's look at his round subs. I mean, his round subs are still awful, man. 11, 13. Jesus. And Bet365 has the best. Dude, his sub round props are like barely any better than his normal round props. They really don't think he's going to KO Chris Curtis. Maybe I just play KO out of spite because his KO is much bigger. I'll just do that. Alrighty. Do I have any PFL? No, I don't. The Dogfather. You played Fiora because I was tailing. Yes, I was tailing the GOAT Dogfather in the Discord. Don't miss out on his bets. He's not washed anymore. Alright, what do I like? Yeah, Melissa Dixon inside distance possibly. I could jump on Almeida. We'll see. He feels a bit mushy. Matsumoto live pass. The Randomino pass. Kurt McGee or pass. We'll see. The over. Trevor Peak. Interested to take that one. Giagos or pass. We'll see. Yeah, I got nothing, so I can't give you a favorite bet. I got nothing on PFL either. AVMD, UFC 300. You betting he'll no, but I'm close to 2 bets already. I'm kind of getting ahead. I'm gonna have a guest on, and I'm gonna try to do an early podcast to make it up to you guys. For not doing a podcast last week, I do have 2 units on Arman Sarukian at minus 200. That line might come back a bit when people start betting Charles, the casuals. But usually the casuals bet the favorites on pay-per-view, so we'll see. Yeah, but that's my only bet. I haven't taped Hill. I wanted to, but then my instinct told me you're probably going to pass because it's a striking fight and it's volatile. I usually play unders in the Pereira fights, and they're usually money, so haven't missed one yet. Alrighty, that's it. Like and subscribe. I don't have anything on PFL. I wrote some things down, but I'm trying to find some value, but I haven't locked anything in. And maybe answer Delia in the main event if he stays the dog. We'll see. I'll force something. All right, like and subscribe. Thank you very much. Good luck.